and having this experience with us. We praise you. We have several individuals here from other parts of the country too who've been part of our group for the last several years, and we're excited to have you with us and to share this time with us and having this experience with us. Praise the mighty Yah for that.
Thank you. I'm glad to be welcomed
Absolutely.
among such scholars, knowledgeable people.
Oh boy, you just hit it. That's what I'm saying. You are among scholars. Okay,
Yes,
you're all right. You're among individuals who are on that level. All of us,
absolutely.
we're here because we want to learn. We're not here because we're being religious, right?
Abs-
We're the group. Listen to me. We're the group. I mean, he has flocks all over. Okay. And I don't want to badmouth anybody. Okay. I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you the way it is. Okay. I just tell the truth. Um, some of us are going to be on a higher level. That's just what it is. Some of us are going to they're going to accelerate and we're going to elevate to another level, right? So you've been picked and selected to be one who would go on that level. Okay. We're all ascending up towards the most high. I'm not ascending. We are ascending together, all of us. You see?
I do.
So the most high is using us as a body of people to help lift each other up. That's why we're here. We're not a religion. That's why you're not sitting in nobody's church dancing and singing. You understand me? That's
Absolutely, I
why,
do.
all right. And so there's nothing necessarily wrong with the gathering of the children of Israel. Something's wrong with the understanding of why we're gathering, right? So there's a lot of individuals that are gathering together, but they're missing something. They're not talking about what we need to be talking about. Okay. And as a result of that, we get misinformation and people are led in another direction. It also inhibits us from being able to gather like and have oneness of mind, right? It's
Right.
oneness. Most High has chosen leaders among his people. That's just what it is. So the group that we're involved in, we're all leaders here. That's what we are. And
Okay.
leaders need to be humble. Yeah, leaders need to be humble. Leaders need to be taught. We're always learning. We're never going to stop learning. We're not, listen what I'm about to tell you. We're never satisfied with just the status quo. We're not. We're not. So that's why we do what we do. Okay. So let's go
Okay.
ahead and get started in our teaching today. I'm gonna go ahead and put you on mute, and then at the end of the class, feel free to ask me any questions. And then if you'd like to, you can stay on and I can answer those questions for you.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Hallelujah. All right. So everyone, listen, I'm gonna share my screen with you. And I mean what I'm saying. This we're on a different level. Okay. And don't feel bad about that at all. I don't want you to feel bad about you learning and you knowing. I've been called arrogant all my life, and that's because I decided not to be like everyone else. I decided to be different. That's what it is. Okay. I'm not cocky, but I am confident. I'm very confident. And we should exercise that confidence, right? And not in a way that we're confident outside of the most high. We don't want to be like that. Okay. What we want to be is we want to be the people that have the ability to see. That's what we want. We want to be able to see. And that's what this Torah portion this week is about. It's about seeing. Okay. It's actually a command that was given to us. Okay. The command is ra'eh, ra'eh. So he's saying see. Okay. And it's different. It's an imperative. This is necessary. And the first thing that he wanted them to see was about the blessings and the curses that you would find in chapter number 11, right? Chapter number 12, he begins to give us some what they call mitzvot. I told you earlier in our teachings for the last several weeks that Moshe was giving them a background on, their journeys and how Israel was traveling from camp to camp and what their experiences was as a people and when did they receive the Torah and so forth and so on. But he wasn't really laying down as of yet the commandments that's supposed to be performed inside of the land. Okay. So one of the phrases that's used within your Torah portion on several accounts is that he says something like, hey, provided you listen to what Yahweh Elohim says. Okay. It's always provided on that. And you obey all of his commandments, which I'm giving you today. That's the mitzvot, right? That's what it's called. Mitzvot comes from the idea of a command. And thus doing what Yahweh, your Elohim, sees as right. So the phrase that doing what Yahweh sees as right, there's a lot of things in here, more specifically the commands that the Most High give the children of Israel, that how he sees it, right? And it's different from how you and I see it. We may not understand why he says, if someone tries to take you away from me, I want you to unalive that person. You may not understand why he says, if they're doing idol worship inside of a city, you do your investigation, you find out that it's true after you're doing your diligence, and you found out that it's verified. I need you to go in there and wipe everybody out. I need you to burn the city down. I need you to destroy everything there. I need you to take all of its goods, all of its possessions, all of its animals, all of its everything, all of its spoils. And I need you to put it in the middle of the street, and I need you to set it on fire, because that's the way I see it to be right. And if you do this, you're going to turn Yahweh's anger away from you. All of everything we're going to learn today is about how Yah sees things. He wants to see that which is right, that which is what you would call yashar, that which is not crooked. This idea of seeing has to do with this definition of observing. Yah wants us to observe what they would call these missionaries, okay? It doesn't say missionary in our Torah portion, but it could be derived from the prophets. These people, these individuals that are trying to get you to turn away from the Most High. They're like missionaries. They come from other places, okay? At first, when I read this before, I thought, okay, surely these are people just within inside of Israel that are trying to get you to, turn against the Most High, right? But it's not only them; it's individuals that are travelers that come from other places, like your oil sales, your your guy who's selling things that came from another country. It's the person who's into trade. It's the person and the people who have come from another country to do some type of transaction with you, or just passing through your towns. Okay, so Israel wasn't an isolated group of people. There were people that were coming in. There were strangers that were coming in. There were foreigners who were coming in, and they were walking through their lands. And when they got there, he says that some of these individuals are going to try to tell you something. So this Torah portion about seeing, I want you to see. I need you to carefully observe who's coming to you, okay? Which that right here is very important for us even today. Also, too, the observation that has to be made that I want you to see is what I said about your diet. I need you to be careful about what you eat, right? And so he talks about that, which you'll find in the book of this same book, Deuteronomy chapter number 14, talks about the animals that are forbidden to eat, the animals, the different types of fish that come out of the sea, and also the birds, and also some of these flying type of insects, right? So there's a whole bunch of stuff. The Most High says that I don't want you to not look at. I want you to be a very careful observer. So I need you to observe what I'm telling you about these people, these missionaries, which they would call prophets or dreamers. And I want you to be very careful about your diet, okay? You need to be an observer of that. Also, too, I want you to understand the observation of the appointments that I have for you. And those appointments are found starting in chapter number 16, which talks about the Pesach, talks about Shavuot, it talks about Sukkot, and it talks about in chapter 15 about the time of Shemitah, a time of release. So there's different times in which the Most High says, I need you to observe. I need you to be carefully watch these things, okay? And so this is part of this idea of seeing. So you really have to be paying attention to what he's talking about, okay? Also, too, what the Most High wants us to see is where we are in this time that we live in, okay? So in the book of Jeremiah, chapter number 5, it says, but even in those days, says Yahweh, I will not completely destroy you. That's what you would call good news for us, okay? That's a promise. I won't completely destroy you, meaning that there are some of you that will be destroyed in those days. And when your people ask, your people, not talking about anyone else, ask, why has Yahweh our Elohim done all these things to us? You are to give them this answer. Okay, this is something for us to write down, to understand. This should be your response. When people ask you, okay, explain to me what you're talking about, the Torah, and explain to me why you believe what you believe, or why are you observing the Shabbat day? Why are you eating like this? Why are you not, participating in this? You let them know, just Yahweh says, just as you abandon me and serve strange gods in your own land, so likewise you will serve strangers in a land that is not yours. Yah is making an equivalency between strange gods and strangers. Okay, so as a result of our punishment, because we serve these strange gods, because we gave into the missionaries, or we gave into the dreamers, or we gave into the false prophets, or we gave into our family, or we gave into the people around us, he says, I'm going to send you, you're going to serve strangers. There's an equivalency there made between serving strange gods and serving strangers. Okay, so the strangers, when he says you're going to serve them, you're going to serve them, and you're going to serve their gods. Okay, even though you may think that you're not serving their gods, you are. Okay, because when you're outside of your land and you're not where the Most High told us to be, you are in someone else's land. And when you're underneath their authority, you are serving their God, because their God is the one who outlines their what they call holidays. Their God is the one who outlines and prescribes the food that will be given inside of a restaurant. Their God is the one who says this is what's going to be offered in our grocery stores. Their God is the one who says that we're going to have activities on this in particular day. Their God is not going to honor anything that the Most High said. So right now, you and I are living in a land of strangers with strange gods. Okay? The Most High has told us, he says, listen, hear this. Stupid, brainless people. I've already went over the word stupid. It talks about a sakal, meaning someone who has confidence within themselves and not confidence in Yah. Okay? Brainless, meaning that, hey, listen, you guys just cover your understanding, your learning. You just won't listen, okay? Who have eyes but do not see? Who have ears but do not hear, okay? Then he asks the question, don't you fear me? Don't you fear me, says Yahweh, won't you tremble at my presence? Indicating that, guess what? The things that Israel has done, which is still in connection with the strange gods. He's saying this in the same context, that you guys, because you've been living in these strange lands with these strangers, and Yah's been talking to our people, but yet they still can't see what he's saying. They still can't hear it. And that's because they're stupid. And that's because they're brainless. They don't think, they don't want to learn. Okay, we're keeping this vanilla today, okay? Don't you fear me? He's making reference to what? He's making reference to Mount Sinai. Won't you tremble at my presence? Because that's where they trembled at his presence. That's the only experience they had. So what he's making reference is that you did see me. You saw the fire that came down. You did hear the words that were spoken to at Mount Sinai. Don't you fear me? Reminding them that when you did see the fire and when you did hear me speak, you were terrified. I'm letting you know that this is going to be the case again. You're going to tremble at my presence. So prepare for that. For among my people, oh, praise be to Yahweh. He says there are wicked men. There's wicked people, men, women, children. They're wicked. Okay? And we're going to define what that wickedness is so we can all be clear, so we won't think someone's walking around with a devil suit on with horns and fangs. He's not talking about a person who smokes cigarettes is wicked. He's not saying that. He's not saying a person who has alcohol is wicked. This is what he's saying. Like fowlers lie in wait and set traps to catch their fellow human beings. Catch them in traps like what? What are they doing? They're trying to get them away from the Most High. Yisrael has wicked people among them. Yah says there's wickedness among his people. And as he told us in our Torah portion, that look, I want you to remove this wickedness from among Israel, like the false prophet, the false dreamer, the people who are serving idols. I need you to remove them, because what they're going to do is they're going to try to remove you off of the path that Yahweh has put you on. Okay. Yisrael is a Rasha. There's individuals, not all of Israel. I want to be clear, not all of Israel is Rasha. Okay. That's how you say the word for wicked is Rasha. It's one of your Hebrew words that you're learning today. Okay. So you have Ra'ah or Re'eh, meaning to see, but here this is very close. It's called Rasha. Rasha. Okay. And what does it mean, right? It means to be wicked. What does it mean to be wicked? A wicked person is one who has gotten off of the path of Yahweh. It's one who has taken another direction in their life. It's one who is not in pursuit of that which is good. It's one who does not follow the laws, the statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. A wicked person is someone who's not actively pursuing Yah. It says, even if pity is shown to the wicked, he still doesn't learn what righteousness is. What is righteousness? Righteousness is of someone who's in pursuit of that which is right. There's only one path of righteousness, and that's the path that Yah has prescribed for Israel. So anyone who's not on this path, bad news, they're wicked. Anybody that's not seeking the Most High and pursuing the Most High is wicked. That's what you and I need to understand. It's not a person who's just going out there, listen, and they appear and they look wicked. The people that he's talking about might look really, really nice. The women might be looking so beautiful, so fine, just beautiful eyes and hair and dressed real nice and everything, well put together. The men might have, a great personality. He might have a wonderful smile and, a way he's put together really nice, and he has an abundance of wealth. The Most High is talking about a person with a mindset. Okay, so even if pity was shown to these individuals, they're still not interested in learning. They're still not interested in shepherd staff. They're still not interested in being guided. They're still not interested in being disciplined. They're still not interested in being corrected. Okay, because they won't know how to act in the land in which Yahweh will bring them. Okay, in a land of uprightness, in a land of justice, in a land of equity. He or she will still act wrongly and fail to see the majesty of Yahweh. So it's about what we see. It's about how we perceive things. It's about what we observe and how do we respond to that. They still won't be able to see it. So you're asking yourself the question, why won't these people, why can't they get it? Why can't they see it? And you think it's just because they're ignorant and they don't know. That's not true. That is not true at all. Wicked people are the ones who've already made a decision to be wicked people. They're decided that I'm going to stay on the path that I'm on. Yah can show them the path that he wants them to walk on, and they're going to say, no, I'm going to still do what I want to do. They're still going to do what they want to do. They're not interested in pursuing the Most High or that which is right. We're commanded to seek Yahweh. Seek Yahweh. Inquire of the Most High. What does it mean to make inquiry for the Most High? I was studying it. It has to do with this idea of Hebrew word called darash. Darash means to ask some questions. I asked the Most High, well, how are we supposed to seek you? The only way that you and I are able to seek the Most High is through learning. That's why this is a high-level class that we're on, because this is only for the individuals who want to learn. That's why other people don't come to the class, because they're not interested in learning. That the only way you can seek Yahweh is by study. Bad news. If someone is not actively studying and they're continue to seek and look for answers, and they're diligent in it, and they're not studying, they're not a person who's not seeking after the Most High. Because studying causes you to ask questions. When you're asking questions, you're seeking answers. So if you're seeking Yah, you're looking for answers from Yah. The question would be, why is this happening to us as a people? Because this, and that. Why are we not able to come together and unify as a people? Because this, and that. You're only going to find your answers in the Torah and the prophets and the writings of the Most High. More specifically, the Torah. The Torah is the instructions. The prophets are going to give you the warnings. The writings are for encouragement. So Psalms, Proverbs, Job, Ruth, and all those other books, they're all to encourage you, to let you know, like, this is how compassionate Yah is. This is when you're having moments of distress, or you're feeling upset, or you're feeling anxious, or whatever you may be going through. You read the Psalms, you read the Proverbs, you're looking for wisdom, you're looking to make comparisons, you're looking how to manage your life. Those are the books that you're going to read. When you're looking for instruction, right, from the Most High, you're going to go to the Torah of Moshe. You're not going to seek instructions, hear me, from the prophets. The prophets are not there to instruct us. They're not. They're not. They might tell you what Yah said and what his plans are, but they're not there to instruct you. All your instructions is found in the Torah. You understand? Our instructions are not found in the book of Genesis, chapter number 2, 3, and 4. This talks about a man that was created. That's not your instructions. That's not the Torah. Moses, they never mentioned to the children of Israel, well, I want you to remember Adam and Eve, and I want you to remember how Satan, or the beast, or the deceiver, deceived them. And that was the first time that there was sin. There's no conversation whatsoever about what happened with Adam and Eve. There's none of that conversation going on. You understand? So Genesis is a historical book that tells you how Yah has done things. And he talks about a family that he chose. He talks about humanity and all of humanity who he chose, and how he built these relationships with Noah, and how he went through his son Shem, and how he went through Shem, and he went all the way down to Avram. Then he went to Abraham, and then he had Ishmael, but he didn't want him, but he wanted Yitzchak. Yitzchak had Yaakov and Esau, and the Most High says that I chose Yaakov, and then all of a sudden you get the 12 tribes of Israel. Why you have an opportunity to seek Yahweh, why he is available, is why you can get the information right now through the Torah. You can call on Yah to ask him about what does he mean. That's his mercy. The wicked person, he says, let the wicked person abandon his way, because his way or her way is on another path. They're not studying the Torah. So if you have someone in your house that's not studying the Torah, they're not seeking Yah. They're wicked. And I know that a lot of people want to hear this. If your children are not seeking Yahweh and studying the Torah, they're wicked. If your wife is not studying the Torah, she's wicked. Your husband is refusing to continually study and ask questions. He's wicked. That's what Yah wants us to see. And the evil person, his thoughts. Because when you're on a certain path and you're walking, doing your thing, and it's all these other people around you and they're all on the same path, they're giving you advice and you're listening to them. Therefore, your thoughts are being changed. So this is the reason why they want you to stay on the path with them, your family that doesn't follow Yah, because they can influence you. Yah says, let him return to Yahweh. Let him or her return. You don't have to stay wicked. The Most High says, I take no pleasure in the unaliveness or the death of the wicked. Wouldn't I have him turn from his way and live? It's not Yah's fault because these people don't want to study. You see? So this is where we cut out the fat. This is where you cut the fat off and you see, okay, well, this is what it really is. My wife was cutting up some lamb yesterday, and she was cutting the fat off of it so she can see the meat. That's where you cut the fat off, and you can see a clear distinction. You understand? Between that which is fat and that which is the meat. With that which is good. Okay? And he will have mercy on him or her. Yah will have mercy. So it's not up to Yah, it's up to the wicked person to turn. It's up to us to abandon our ways. It's up to us to change our thought processes. Let him return. That's his ability. That's his capacity. that he has. And only way that they can do that is if they can see the error of their ways. And why? Because Yahweh, for he will freely forgive. There's no need for anybody to be unalive for them. Yah says, I'll freely forgive you. I'll forgive you if you decided to abandon your own way and follow the path that has been laid out for you. I'll freely forgive you if you're willing to be taught and learn and study, and you seek me out. Freely forgiven. Why? Because Yah says, my thoughts are not your thoughts, and your ways are not my ways, says Yahweh. Yah does not think like us. He's not a human being. Okay? He's not moved by his emotion, right? He's not moved by being influenced by others. He's not persuaded because he wants to be friends with someone. You understand? He does that which is just and what is right. There is no wickedness in Yahweh whatsoever. And therefore, because there's no wickedness in him, on his path, there's nothing but righteousness. Yah wants us to see. What does he want us to see? He wants us to ra'ah. This is your other Hebrew word. One is rasha, which is wickedness. Okay? This is ra'ah. I want you to see. I want you to ra'ah. What do you want? I want you to have some idea of perception. I want you to be able to distinguish between things. Like he mentioned in chapter number 14 about these animals and these fish. I need you to carefully look and observe them and find out whether or not they meet the qualifications for you. If he's asking that about a fish, or he's asking that about an animal, or he's asking about that which you and I would consume, he's telling us to look at even the people. They are going to have certain indications or certain markings on them to determine whether they're good for you or not. You can eat fish according to the Torah. You can eat meat according to the Torah. You can eat certain insects according to the Torah, more specifically the locusts. You can eat that. So the things that you're able to consume, you have to be able to make a difference between it. And the only way you can do that is by ra'ah. So don't limit the ra'ah to just what you eat. Don't limit the ra'ah to just, where you're going. Ra'ah has to be around you all the time. That is the command of Yah to ra'ah. Open your eyes, children of Israel. See, I'm setting before you. See? I need you to see this. That I'm setting before you today a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you listen to the commandments, the mitzvot of Yahweh your Elohim, that I'm giving you today. That is the beginning opening line in chapter number 11 and verse number 26, which the Most High says, 27. I don't want to deal with the curse because the curse is the opposite of the blessing. I want you to see the blessing. I want us to understand it today. I want us to know what it is when y'all's talking about a blessing. When y'all talks about a blessing, everyone, he's talking about an abundance. He's talking about an increase of what? He told you what I'm going to bless you with. He told us I'm going to bless you with animals that live on the land. I'm going to bless the abundance of the seed of those animals so they can keep coming and coming and coming and coming and having it over and over and over and over again. Male and female, male and female, male and female. So you can eat it. I'm going to bless and give the increase of that which is in the fields. I'm going to give you your teroshika. I'm going to give you your wines. I'm going to give you your oils. I'm going to give you your barley. I'm going to give you your wheat. I'm going to give you your honey. I'm going to give you your milk. I'm going to give you all those things. I'm going to give you the vegetables. I'm going to give you the fruit. I'm going to give you all those things. And the Most High says, once I give this abundance to you, I want you to come because it's the work of your hands. Because when something increases, you have to use your hands in order to reap that which you have sown, which you have put your hands to. So it's always talking about, hey, I want you to, whatever the work of your hand is, Yahweh's going to bless your hands from what you've done. That's why he told you in chapter number 15 in the law, Shemitah, to release your brother, your sister, or whoever owes you. You open your hands to them because I put a lot in your hands. Don't be greedy. Don't be stingy because I bless you. I've increased that which is in your hands. The Most High did not include eternal life in the blessing. I'll give you the abundance of seed for your sons and your daughters. If you're increasing your sons and your daughters, and you're increasing the people, you increase also the servants. You're going to increase everything. Everything about Yah is about a blessing, and it's going only with the land. And once Yah gives us this blessing, he says, you will bring there your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tenths, and the offerings that you give, the offerings that you vowed, and your voluntary offerings, and the firstborn for your cattle and your sheep. So all of your blessings, all of the abundance, all of the animals, all of the food and the fruits and the vegetables and the oil and all that, it's only given to you so you can bring your offering. Don't miss this. Your blessings is so you can offer it to Yah, because he's blessed your hands. That's what the blessing is. The blessing is for you to put something in your hand. And that's why he told us in the Torah portion, don't you show up to pay Shavuot, the Sukkot, empty-handed. Because he's given you enough of the substance of the earth in order you to bring it. So Shavuot, everyone, on a side note, is a time of when you put the sickle in the ground to gather that which came out of the ground, which is the barley or the wheat, okay? Sukkot is the last time of the ingathering of everything that's supposed to be gathered. In both of these festivals, you're supposed to come with something in your hand that the Most High has blessed you with. And you're supposed to bring yourself, your wife, your children, your family, and everybody's supposed to be in front of the Most High, and they're supposed to be celebrating before the Most High. That's that simcha. I need you to rejoice, and I need you to sell it. I need you to come, and if it's too much for you, it's too far, and you have, too much, and you just can't bring it. I blessed you with so much that you can't even bear to bring it because it just takes you too much. Sell it and come down and take the money and buy whatever you want. And you enjoy yourself in front of me in the place that I told you. This was in your Torah portion. You will not do things the way we do them here today, where everyone does whatever in his own opinion seems right. That word right there, opinion, is mistranslated. It's mistranslated. It's not talking about an opinion. The call to Hayashara is about Anah. It's talking about your eyes. It's talking about what's right in your own eyes. Okay? This word here, called, the first letter that you see, let me put a little something on it so those of you who don't know the Hebrew, you would understand what I'm talking about. This word right here means all or everything. Okay? So what he's saying is, if everything that's connected to what you consider to be Hayashar, this means to be upright. So he's literally telling you that everything that you think is upright, the bet right here is in, because that has to do with the tent and people who dwell in the tent. And this right here is your eyes and his eyes. So I don't want you to do everything that you think is correct in your own eyes. I don't want that. The way that you see it, the way that you perceive it. You understand? The way that you think is this Hayashar, that you think is right. Okay? So you can't do this when you go into the land. You can't. So I want you to understand that word kol. Okay? That word kol is that first word that you saw there, which consists of the kaf, which is the first letter, right? And I'll point to it right quick, just in case you guys don't know. We're going from right to left. The kaf is this letter right here. Okay? So that's the one I'm talking about. So it's consistent of a kaf, and it's consistent of a lamed, which is the final letter. Okay? Each one of those letters have a significant meaning. Okay? The kaf is the palm of one's hand. So when the Most High talks about all or everything, okay, he's talking about something that has to do with the hand. Okay? And also the next letter is the staff, which is the lamed. Well, what does it mean? When you put those two letters together, it talks about taming something. Okay? So what he's saying is, when he says that I don't want anyone to do all the call to hayashar, meaning all of what you think is right in your opinion, in your eyes, excuse me, not your opinion, in your eyes. Is because this whole time that you've been doing things your way and the way that you've been taught, you think the way that you've been taught is the right way. Taming is to be taught. The shepherd would take the staff that's in his palm, in his hand, and he would tame either the animal or he'll tame that which comes out of the ground to make sure that it goes straight. Taming it means to discipline it and to correct it and say, okay, this is the way that we're going to go. You understand? And taming them means before I literally put you out for service and until you're ready, okay? So the Most High is letting us know through Moshe that while you're in the wilderness, you're being trained. You're being tamed. But it seems that even though you're in the wilderness, you still are doing things the way that you see as being right. How does this connect to us today? It connects with us because the Most High is letting us know that when you get to your land, you're not going to do what you're doing in Oakland. You're not going to do what you're doing in Africa. You're not going to do what you're doing in Australia. You're not going to do what you're doing in California. You're not going to do what you're doing anywhere. You're not. So right now, the Most High is taming us. A shepherd is putting that staff on us and saying, the staff means to learn. I'm teaching you. That's why you're in this class, is because you're being tamed. The Most High is taming you and I. In order to do what? In order for us to get there and do what we want to do? No. I want to see if you're going to listen to what I'm saying to you. I want to see even if you're teachable. I want to see if you're trainable. If you're not trainable, even in your house right now, and I can't talk to you, I'm not wasting my time with you. If you're not willing to learn, you're not willing to correct, if you're not willing to go the way that I told you, I'm not, listen, the Most High right now is not looking for perfection from us. All he's looking for is to see a willingness to what? To conform to what I said. Let's stop acting religious. The Most High is directing us to see if we're willing to do what he says. Show Yah some type of improvement. Because if you're not tamed, when you get on the path, you're not going to stay on it. You're not going to stay on the path. So we see that the only way to stay on the path of Yah that he has us on is by listening to what he says. And obeying what he says. Often it's not going to be comfortable being tamed. When a shepherd is taming his lambs or his oxen, sometimes he has to strike them. Sometimes he has to poke them. Sometimes he has to prod them. Sometimes he has to push them.
Okay, babe. Y'all tired.
You understand? Put your device on mute. So it's not going to be easy. This is not easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is not a comfortable moment for us in our time. You found in your chapter number 12 where it talks about, 13, it talks about these prophets. It talks about these dreamers. It talks about these people that are coming to you trying to get you to go into idolatry. We have to remove these people away from us. You should not be listening to these individuals because Yah doesn't want us to have a idolatry. Why? Because it's a test. It's a test. The prophets are there for a test. The dreamers are sent to you for a test. The idea of turning to another God is a test. The New Testament is a test. It's the new test. They'll say, let's follow other gods which you have not known. That means you don't have no intimacy with them. You have never had any type of encounter for you. They've never done nothing for you. And let us serve them. Why would you want to go serve a God that you have no experience with? That ain't did nothing for you because somebody told you? They told you he did something for you, but you ain't never seen it. You don't see. You don't have God. Yah gave us eyes and gave the children of Israel eyes so they can see the salvation of Yah. He wanted them to see what he did to Egyptians. He wanted them to see the plague. He wanted them to see the open up the Red Sea. He wanted them to see destroying their enemies. He wanted them to see the manna. He wanted them to see when I could take some bitter water and turn it sweet so you could drink it. I wanted you to see it. And because of that, I will test you to find out whether or not you really do love me. It says love here. He's talking about loving, participle, present tense, right now. This test, it wasn't back in the day. This test is right now. To find out whether, the whether. No, whether, he says in Hebrew, to exist. Is there a heart? Is there a mind that exists of loving me in you? I got to test it. I'm testing you to find out whether or not you do love me. That are you loving me? Because those who love me follow my commandments. They will not veer off. And I want to know if you love me with everything. There's your word, all again, call. I want to know whether or not you have completely with your all of everything. I want to know if you took the staff in your hand and you're walking on the path that I want you. I want to know if you've been tamed and you have some type of self-control and you're willing to turn to what I said. I want to know whether or not you're seeking me and you're loving me enough to sit down with you and your children and study what I said. I want to know whether or not you're going to bend and break so you'll be able to keep the relationships that you have with your friends and family. I want to know whose side you're going to take and who you're going to be loyal to. This is not a game for us. This is a real life testing. We're in that environment right now. You are to follow Yahweh your Elohim and fear him and obey his mitzvot and listen to what he says. You're going to serve him and cling to him, and that prophet and dreamer is to be put to death because he urged rebellion against Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim. He brought you out of the land of Mizraim and redeemed you from a life of slavery, giving you something new, giving you something tangible, giving you a blessing. I'm going to put food in your mouth for you and your children. I'm going to provide food and animals to you so they can help you along in your work, so they can bless your hands. And you got to tame them. The same staff that God has put on us as parents, it's the same staff that is supposed to be put on your children and your animals and everybody else that's underneath your authority. These people are here to seduce you away from the path. They want to turn you and take you away from Yah. The path that Yahweh had ordered you to follow. This is how you are to rid the community of this wickedness, because the only way that you would do this is if you see things the way that Yah sees it. You and I have to do what's right in the eyes of Yah, not what's right in your own eyes. Yah says, I'll use your brother, the son of your mother. I'll use him because you have an affinity for your brother and your sister. I'll use them to test you. I'll find out whether or not that you're going to listen to what they said or you're going to listen to what I said. I'll use the closest relationship that you have from a family member. I'll use your wife. I'll use the one that you're intimate with, that you share your personal details with and your secrets with. I'll use her. I'll get her to do it. I'll use her. I'll use whoever. And these people he's talking about are wicked. These are the people that are not studying. These are the people that are not on the path. These are the people. I'll use your children that's in your house to see whether or not you're going to follow another God. Oh, then my child never told me to go follow anybody else. You think he's talking about just, well, let me tell you, we should go follow. You think this child is going to say we need to go follow another God? No, he's going to use the children to find out if you're going to do what I said or going to do what some other God told you. What do you mean, Akika? If you and I are not disciplining our children according to what the Most High said, and we're not correcting them according to what the Most High said, and you're not standing on what the Most High said, then you're worshiping another God. And you love your children more than you love the Most High. And you don't see it the way that he sees it. Because you think that you're going to walk on his path and walk on the path of wickedness at the same time. Yah will use your children. He'll use them to say, I want to go trick-or-treating. What about Santa Claus? What about Easter? What about the children? Yah will use your friend. He said, I'll use your best friend that you love just like you love your own soul. I'll give the one that you kick it with so hard. I'll have him say, hey, you want to come with me over here? We're just going to this party here. I know that you serve God and, you serve you and the Yahweh and all that, but, we're just going to go over here and hang out. You see? So when Yah talks about loving him with everything, people, he's telling you, you need to be tamed. And I need all of you. I don't need half of you. And you can't give me some of it and give and hold on to something with your wife and your brother and your children and your friends. I didn't tell you to hate them. I told you if they try to get you to come against me by anything. You understand? Because their job as wicked people would be to secretly try to entice you to go and serve other gods. Now, this word entice right here is not by simply just giving you something or handing you an ice cream or a slice of pizza or an outfit or whatever. What it's talking about in Hebrew is about stirring up something. They're going to stir you up. So the Most High has chosen these individuals because when he gets you to them, these individuals, they're going to stir up your emotions that you have for them. The brother is going to use the closeness of being family. The wife is going to use the idea of, our intimacy and how much I love you. The children, your heart has been on them because you see the good for them and you're emotionally connected to them. And he's going to use your friend because that's where you have a great deal of loyalty to. So they're going to try to stir up your emotions, these individuals. They're going to stir you up because you want to be with them and you're going to go serve their gods. And these other gods is going to festivals. These other gods is participating with them in activities that are outside of the Torah, which you haven't known. You're going to go do these things. Neither you nor your ancestors, gods of the people surrounding you, whether near or far away from you, anywhere in the world. We begin our study talking about, I'm going to send you to a strange land with these other strangers to serve their gods. So anybody that's in any part of the world that's not in the land, at our land, with Yah as being there and instructing us, is idolatry. Anywhere in the world outside of where Yah's place is idolatry. Yahweh has made a choice. He made a choice with the children of Israel, that you are my segula, you are my people. Yah made a choice on the firstborn. I redeemed the firstborn of the animals and the people. Yah has made a choice even for the place where he's going to place his name. He made a choice out of the tribes of who he's going to place his name in that in particular place, which you and I know now that it was in Yerushalayim in the tribe of Judah. He wants to put his name there. That's the goal. That's the desire. That's his desire. In a place, the makom, that you find in chapter number 12. Let's deal with the past. Where did Yah put his name? Yah says, rather, you are to come to the place where Yahweh your Elohim will put his name. He will choose it from all your tribes, and you will seek out that place, which is where he will live and go there. when I read this and I was putting this slide together, I began to weep. I began to cry because an overwhelming feeling of sadness came over me because I know that this is a command from Yah to seek him out in the place that he has placed his name. And you and I don't have a place. This is where his name is. There is no place outside of where he said where his name is. Therefore, you and I don't have a place. We don't have a place. We do not have a place. So then I ask myself, what about the present? Because the past is the past. I can learn from it. I understand it. I can grow from it. But where am I today? What could I do now? I was like, yeah, I can't seek you to the place that you want. You said your name is going to be in the place that you chose, not what some man in Sacramento said, not somewhere in Texas. You said in the place that you put your name. That's the place where you said that we're supposed to go, because we don't supposed to do what we think is right in our own eyes. So where does this leave us? Presently, you and I right now are serving gods that are made from the product of human hands. We're serving gods made of wood and stone, which can't see, hear, eat, or smell. Akika, we're not serving those gods. You're lying. We're not serving them. We're serving Yah. No, we're not. No, we're not. This is a reality check. This is where your eyes are supposed to be made open. You're not serving Yah right now. You're not. The reason why you and I are not serving him is because he told us to seek out the place that where he put his name. You have nothing to bring to the Most High. That is a lie. That is a lie from the wicked men that are among Yah's people. You right now are in service to these gods because you're around these people. They dictate to us what we can and cannot do. They dictate on when you and I can go buy something when we can't. They dictate what's open and what's closed. As the children of Israel, you are considered 3/5 of a human being. You're serving their gods whether you like it or not. You don't know that you're serving their gods and they locked down this country a few years ago for COVID? Are you serious? They're telling you what it is. The reason why the Most High is letting us know presently what is going on is because he wants us to understand, don't get caught up in fairyland and think that everything is okay. Because if you think that, then you're not pursuing the Most High. You're not seeking Yah. You're not studying. You're not looking for answers because you think you're serving Yah. But Yah does give us hope. We're not right now supposed to be serving. You and I are supposed to be seeking. We're not, when you think you're in service, you don't no longer have to seek. When you think that you're serving Yah, you no longer seek Yah because you're okay with what you're doing right now. You think what you're doing is Hayashar. You think this is what Yah wants, and it's not. Very humbling for me. But I understand it. You and I are in service to other gods. You and I are not serving the Most High. Put your device on mute. You and I are commanded to seek the Most High Yah, Yahweh our Elohim, and you will find him if you search after him with all. Going back to that call again, all being tamed, all being taught, all learning, being disciplined with all of your heart and being. We're not in service. We are in seeking mode right now. What is the future? If that's our present condition right now, where we are serving the gods of the people, like the Most High said, I sent you to these other lands because when you were in your land, you serve strange gods. So I'm going to send you to a land with strangers and you're going to serve their gods. You won't stop serving these gods until you get out of this land. That should break your heart. That should cause you to move in a certain direction. That should cause you to feel, if you don't feel nothing about what you're doing right now, and you're going around thinking you're serving the Most High, and you're satisfied with reading a couple of passages, and you're not really seeking answers, you're deceived. And you're teaching others the same. That is not Yah's path. Yah's path is telling us that, guess what? If you're not in seek mode right now, you think you're in serve mode, you're doing what you want to do. You're on a different path. You're on your path. And we know that any other path outside of his path is wicked. That's why we don't want to say, oh, this person's wicked. No, I'll tell you straight to your face, you're wicked. You ain't studying the Torah, you're wicked. You saying you serving the Most High right now, you lying. You're being deceitful. The future for us is the Most High says, my home will be with them. That's the future. My home will be with them. I will be their Elohim and they will be my people. What? In the future. The problem is that we don't want to wait for when Yah says this. We want to, accelerate it by, opening up places and saying his name is here and, doing certain things and saying that he's with us and, whatever. That's how we see it. And we think it's okay. No. The nations will know that I am Yahweh, who sets Israel apart as set apart when my sanctuary is with them forever. The sanctuary that you and I were told, this is where you go and bring everything I told you, everything I blessed you with. Hopefully you can make the connection. Hopefully you can see that right now you're not set apart and right now Yah is not actively being our Elohim in front of the nations. When he says that my home will be with them, I will be their Elohim and they will be my people. Yes, we're Yah's people, but right now we're not recognized as his people. Because if you were recognized as his people, you would be set apart and you would be in your land and you would go into the sanctuary where he's at, where his name will be. His name is just not something you put on a hat or a t-shirt. Or you go into your construction and you go and find some Hebrew letters and cut them out and put them on a desk or a building or something and say his name is here. Cursed be the man who's done such a thing. And cursed be the location of they say that the Most High's name is there. Because why? It's not bringing any kadosh. It ain't bringing any set apartness. You go to these places and they tell you that you're unclean. You go to these places and they tell you that you can't do this and you can't do that and we're going to be holy. They got you on something. These people have actually moved outside of what Christianity was and just reinvented it and put a Hebrew name on it and doing the same identical thing. None of us is pure. None of us is clean. None of us is set apart. None of us. And until we recognize that and accept that and understand that, we will not be willing to be tamed and changed. Open your eyes. Yahweh is the past. Yahweh is the present. And Yahweh is our future. He's everything, people. He knows everything. It is his plan. You and I are not in service to the Most High. That's what a servant does. They're in service. They're in service. So let's ask ourselves the question. If we are the servant of the Most High, which the scripture clearly tells us that we are, but there's a time that we're not in service. Because the Most High said, you're going to be serving the gods of the people. We're a blind servant. Now, you've been reading your Torah, and you know that the Most High said, I don't want a blind animal. You have read in your Torah that you can't have a blind person to serve the Most High in the tabernacle. Anything wrong with them? They got something, a cataract in their eye, they can't serve the Most High. We're blind. Not only as a servant is blind, but as a servant, we're deaf. We don't hear. We don't hear, we're deaf. Akika, you're making a lot of accusations against us. Yes, I am. When I say us, all of us together, we're blind and we're deaf. Listen to me carefully. We're unaware. We don't have awareness. And the reason why I say that we're blind and we're deaf is because the Most High said that we're blind and we're deaf, and he said we're stupid and brainless because we don't even get it. You're not even aware that you're in the land of your enemies and you're serving their gods. You weren't even aware of that. You're not even aware that you're not in service to me because you're blind and you're deaf. That's how brainless you are. And that's how you can't even hear what I'm saying to you. I told you I'm going to send you to these nations and you're polluting my name. Why you're in these nations, and yet you go around and tell people that you're in service to me and I blessed you. Listen, you deaf, and look, you blind, so that you will see. Who is blind? As blind as my servant, or as deaf as the messenger I send. Who is blind as the one I rewarded, as blind as the servant of Yahweh? Who is this messenger? When I bring this up, and these Christians, they don't even want to answer this question. When they say that Christ is the servant of God, listen, this messenger right here is deaf and he's blind. Deaf, can't hear and can't see. The messenger is a malach. It's a malach. Okay? Which you would know in some other language as being an angel. A messenger is a malach. In the word malach, you have an M, an L, and a K, not Martin Luther King. Okay? The M is from. This means from. These two letters right here, a lamed and a kaf. Final kaf. It's just the reverse of a kaf and a lamed that we've been talking about. The reason why this kaf over here looks different is because it's a final kaf. It's the last letter on the word, so it has to look like this. Okay, but if it wasn't the last letter, it would look like this. So these two right here are connected because they're exactly the same letters. You got the lamed right here, you got the lamed right here, you got the kaf right here, you got the kaf right here. And they're connected, they're related. So if the Most High says that my servant is blind and deaf, are you going to accept that? If he's telling you that you don't have an awareness, that means you can't see. You don't really know your situation. You don't have the ability to perceive what's around you. So what's the connection between these two? The connection is this, people. This one right here, we learned that it means to tame. And it means everything. I need you to tame everything. This one right here means to walk. Okay? So this one here means to get ready. Right? I'm using my finger, so forgive me for the writing. This means to prepare you and to make you ready or in order to walk. Once you're ready, then you can begin to walk for the Most High. The Most High is letting us know, okay? So the one on the bottom right here is to walk. The other one is to get ready to walk. So what the Most High is doing right now is he's preparing us and getting us ready in order to walk. But what he has to do first is he has to heal our blindness. He has to take away our blindness and our deafness in order for us to serve him. The reason why we're blind and we're deaf is because we've been in service to these other gods. The gods who can't see, the gods who can't hear, the gods who can't smell, the gods who can't eat, the gods who can't touch or nothing. See, so we don't really know Yah. You don't. I don't. We're learning about Yah. We're not going to be arrogant enough to say that we do know him when he says, you don't know me. Because if you knew me, you would be in your land. You'd have something tangible that you saw with your eyes, people. You wouldn't be going around saying that you're some empire. You wouldn't be saying that you're blessed. You wouldn't be saying that you've got it together. You wouldn't say that you're holy. You are the descendants of these people that I've exiled because they hated me. And I need to test and find out if you are willing to be ready to walk for me as a Malak, as a Malachim, as a messenger. And you cannot walk for Yah unless you are being prepared. And you can't be blind, and you can't be deaf, and you can't be dumb. So Yah has to bring us out, and he has to prepare us, he has to cleanse us, and he has to remove this filth of this idolatrous place that we've been in. When he talks about being blind and deaf, we've been following the ways of these people, and all of a sudden we're magically, it's no longer part of us, not part of our DNA. You think of all those years that you eating that pork, it had no effect on you? All the times that you and I have been called on the name of a false god, you think that that's gone? God says, I got to cleanse you and wash you and get this stuff off of you. And some of us are not willing to wait for it, so we get this idea that I'm going to do it before he says I can do it. You see much, but you don't pay attention. You open your ears, but you don't listen. Remember, the New Testament said that this man came and he opened the eyes of the blind, but yet they still don't see their captivity and their oppression. Ask a Christian, can you see that? Oh, yeah, I can see. I have the Holy Spirit. Did he open your eyes to tell you that you're considered 3/5 of a human being? Did he open your eyes to tell you that you're in filth and that the meat and the food that you're eating right now is a contaminated? And you're going to eat the bread of affliction like the Most High told Ezekiel, when these people get into their land, they're going to eat filthy food. Yahweh was pleased for righteousness' sake, his righteousness' sake, to make the Torah great and glorious. What does this mean? This is connected to us being the blind servant and him sinning. Who is this servant? After he removes our blindness, where we can be able to see him and see what his righteousness truly is, not what we think and what we see with our own eyes and what we've established in our so-called churches or our so-called synagogues. The Torah will be great, and it is going to be glorious, because the Torah is light. We will be able to fully understand the Torah. We'll fully understand what it is that the Most High wants us to see and to understand. You and I are the ones who's supposed to carry the message. That's why he called you a malak. You're just a malak right now, like they would say an angel that just can't see. But this is a reason why we need to get prepared. We're the children of the Most High. The children consist of two words. or excuse me, 2 letters, the bet and a noon, called Bane. The first one, which is the bet, is the house. The second letter is the noon, which is the seed. So the house of the seed, or the house of continuance, is the children. The last 2 letters, to let you know that it's plural, is called a yod and a mem, which the yod means the hand and the mem means from or water, means plurality. Many. That's why they're called children. They're called banim. So the banim, the Most High tells us that you're the banim. You're the banim. Banim atem la Yahweh Eloheikim. You, talking plural, that's the atem. Put your device on mute, thank you. You, atem. They have here, and I put it in red because I always let you know where I find a mistranslation. This mistranslation right here can make you think something that's not true. Okay? If the Most High, he didn't say that you are the people of Yahweh your Elohim. He didn't say that. We are his people, but in this in particular text, in chapter number 14, verse number 1, he begins it by saying, to banim atem to Yahweh. You, plural, people, individuals, are the children of Yahweh your Elohim. And because we are his children, he's telling us that everything in chapter number 14, this is the reason why I want you to eat the diet that I told you. I've already prescribed the diet for my children. I told you that I don't want you to eat anything that doesn't chew the cud. I told you, I don't want you to eat anything that doesn't have scales or fins. We went over before about the scales and fins. The scales are for protection, and the fins is to maneuver. Everything that he talks about. I didn't want to go over all the different birds that he told you not to eat, because I told you last time that they were predators and that they had a certain type of mindset, and they had different characteristics to tell you that is totally contrary to peace. That's what a predator, he's against peace. He's not trying to make peace. You understand? I've already shared the reasons why these animals, and having some of my teachings, you could go in and find out. And find out the last time I taught this Torah portion, I told you what these animals were and why he says not eat it, because you and I are the children. You're not just somebody on the street. You are atem Yahweh Eloheikim. You are the banim of Yahweh. We're not just some people. You are his children. And if we're his children, that means he's our father. And that means that you and I should show him the honor and the respect that's due to his name. All praise be given unto Yahweh. You're the children. That's what you are. Don't you forget it. You read in your English translations, you are the people. No. You think that you is singular? No, it's plural. You are the children. 2 or 4 Yahweh. If Yahweh is our father and we're his children, that means that we're a family. This is the reason why he's asked us what he's asked us. I forgot to take this slide out. I didn't want to talk about the curse, but maybe Most High wanted me to share it. You'll get the curse if you don't listen to the commandments of Yahweh, your Elohim. You're going to get it. If you turn aside from the way that Yahweh has ordered us through Moshe, you're getting a curse. If you follow after those gods that you don't have no knowledge of and they've never done nothing for you, you're getting it. And that's what you and I have received today. We're under the curse of the Most High. The Torah, I want you to learn. I want you to learn the Torah. I want you to learn, and I want you to learn to love it, because that is going to be your salvation. He not only wants us to learn it and to love it, but he also wants us to live it. Yah wants us to live, to learn, to love. Learn to love, to live to live, to learn, all there about the Torah. Your Torah portion next week is found in the book of Devarim, chapter number 16, verse number 18. 16, 18 through chapter 21, verse number 9. The name of it is called Shoptim, meaning judges. We're going to talk about the individuals that were selected to be the leaders, and I'm going to talk more about those leaders in the upcoming week if Yahweh allows me to do so. Your Haftarah is going to be found in the book of Isaiah, chapter number 51, verse number 12, all the way to chapter number 52, verse number 12. So 51:12, all the way to 52:12. Me, personally, I like to read the chapter at the beginning, and I read the whole complete chapter because I like to get a full context. Of course, they hone into the main ideas, but yet and still I like to always have the complete context of everything, okay? The Psalms, again, as part of our learning experience, which you will find in chapters number 135 to 28. I don't want you to start in chapter 28. I want you to start in chapter 135, go to 136, 137, and finish it all the way out, and then go back to 20 and go 1 to 1 all the way up to 28. So it's not chapter 135 and chapter number 28. It's chapter 135 all the way through to the end of the book of Psalms. And then you're going to begin in chapter number 1, and you're going to go all the way to chapter number 28. Okay. So don't start in 1 and go to 28 and then go to 35 and read. No, start in 135, finish it all the way out, and then go from chapter number 1 to chapter number 28. All right. Say Shabbat Shalom to my Mishpachah. You are my family. You guys are my family. You're my only family now. My other family members decided that I'm an antichrist, which I am, and they don't want to have anything to do with me. So you are my family. I'm going to let you know that the words that the Most High has spoken to us today is in order to open up our understanding so we can see it. You can see clearly with your eyes that you are in the land of your enemies. And just on default alone, we're in idolatry. And we're not able to wash that off of us right now because, and no matter what we're reading, it doesn't wash it off. You're not clean. You're not, okay. So Kika, what are we supposed to do? You just destroyed everything that I thought that I was at. What am I supposed to do now? Now that we can't go to this place, even the Most High said you're going to abide many days without it. The Most High is trying to get us to understand and to see what our situation is. If you don't see the severity of it and you think you're in service, you're playing a game with yourself. It's a mind game. Therefore, you're thinking you're in service to him when you really should be seeking him. So what happens is you get a little complacent and you're thinking, okay, I'll just keep coming to, learn. I'll just keep, doing some studying, some reading, and everything's cool. Yah's not happy with us. He's not going to forsake us. He's not going to destroy us because we're seeking him. He says that. He promises that, like he just said in the beginning of our teaching, that I'm not going to destroy you, not all of you. Okay. But he wants us to have a sense of awareness that don't get it confused about where you are. You've been told that you're no longer in idolatry. You are still in idolatry. And the reason why is because you and I are doing things the way that we think we should be doing them. That's idolatry in itself. We need to ask the Most High to come and get us and to cleanse us and to remove the names of the gods that we have spoken. Not only the names of the gods that we've spoken, but the ideas and the mindset in the way that we think. See, we don't see ourselves as thinking a certain way. I have a residue of idolatry that's on me because I was taught by nothing but Christians all my life. My grandfather, my grandmother, my mother, my father, my great-grandparents, my uncles, my aunties, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, everybody has had that influence on me. And those ideas have shaped my life. And I'm going through the process of trying to learn how to unlearn those things. And while I'm in that, I'm still in the land of the people who are in idolatry. Any other land on the face of the earth besides the land that Yah has prescribed for us is a land that's full of idolatry. If it wasn't, then the Most High would consider us to be clean, but we're not. We're not set apart. We're not. So don't go on this spiritual trip saying I'm set apart. No, you're not. No, you're not, because his sanctuary hasn't been given to us, and we're not able to go there to worship our Elohim and to serve him. When he told the children of Israel, just so you can verify that the Most High is telling us the truth, you look at what he told the children of Israel when they were in Egypt. He told Pharaoh to send my people out so they may come and worship me. While they were in Egypt, they were not, and he said to come and serve me. So we're not in service to the Most High when you're in someone else's land. You're not serving him. This is a reality. This is a reality check. It's what is real. Okay. So I say that not to hurt any of our feelings, but I say that because I love each and every last one of us, including myself, enough to be honest and to tell the truth. Sister Claudia, go ahead.
The Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom.
Akika David, that was a really, really interesting and sensitive topic, teaching. And the area I want to touch on is where you touched on everlasting life, right? Now, this is a